Buongiorno and welcome to day 2 here in Italy. We just tried to ride under the finish line of the Giro, but we got turned back.
So Mr. Lee, we see that they've branded the Giro D'Italia after you. How are you feeling?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, it's the least they could do really, because you know, I obviously win every stage of this race, and they probably told me not to ride it, so yeah, not to embarrass all the others.
And can you just tell me if you had a preference? Would you enter the Giro Analog or the Giro E?
I'd probably that's a very tricky question. Bearing in mind who's holding the camera, I'd probably have to say the Giro E.
And I would say that's the right answer.
and to be fair, I think I stood more of a chance entering the Giro E than the actual Giro.
Great stuff. Well, isn't it great to be here though?
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic. Really atmospheric. It's incredible.
And just tell them about how old our guide is.
Yes, we've got our guide today, Giancarlo, and he's 76 years old. And he was beating me on the climbs yesterday. He's absolutely incredible.
We'll introduce you to him in a bit.
Yeah.
Cool. So here we are with Leonard Lee at the finish of, I think we're stage 12 of the Giro D'Italia. We're 10 metres from the finish line.
Yes.
How are you feeling?
Well, this is absolutely incredible to be here, isn't it? You know, we're on the finish line of the Giro D'Italia. How many people can say that they've done that? Yeah, it'd be fantastic today if we can get our tickets and actually stand here for real when the riders are crossing the line.
And the hope is that we're going to watch the Giro E and the main Giro as well.
That's right, yes. The plan today is that we're going to ride out with Giancarlo. We're going to climb for about 13 kilometres to the top of a climb, where we will watch the riders of the Giro E climb up the same mountain, and then we're going to try and hammer it back here in time for the finish of the actual Giro.
One thing your viewers might not know, because I only discovered this recently, is that you used to race bikes too. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I used to race back in the day. I think my last race was 2005. I used to do a bit of road racing over on the Goodwood Gallops course, which used the same, well, it was the motor track at Goodwood, pan flat. I didn't do too many races on that, but I did a few. I think my highest finishing position was like 15th or something. But my main kind of racing was time trialing, and my personal best for a 10-mile time trial was 24 minutes 24 seconds.
So, having watched the Giro go through yesterday and we followed them for a few kilometres, did that get the heart rate going? How did you feel?
Well, watching them go up that little rise was very kind of humbling in many ways, because you know they just flew up there, and I just climbed up a similar climb to get to that point where we watched it, and I was you know, chugging away, and they were just flying up there. So yeah, they're just super fit athletes.
Well, we're on our way to watch the Giro E, so the pace might be a bit different today.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a climb though, isn't it, as far as I know?
It is.
Be very interesting to see them go up there and see what kind of speeds they're doing.
Right, well, they're literally laying the finish line now right behind you, so we should move on.
I think we should.
Con il 74, una tappa alla Vuelta Burgos, 2 Ciabancappa, una tappa al Giro D'Italia.
I've just tried to have a chat with one of the riders doing today's stage, and he was a bit grumpy. Understandably, I think he's a bit nervous about the stage, because my understanding is that it's going to be quite tough. They're going to be riding quite a lot, or if not all, of the Novo Colli, which is like the 9 climbs of Marco Pantani. Incredibly tough ride. They also have a sportive, or rather a Gran Fondo event over the same course in May, and it's incredibly popular. Well, this is pretty exciting. I'm at the start line of the Giro D'Italia of today's stage and just watching the riders roll out. I think we're actually the wrong side of the barrier, but there's just no way we can get to the other side, but still pretty good view. That's the excitement of today's Giro D'Italia start, and now we're on to the business of our ride. And this is the house of Marco Pantani. One of my favourite stories about Marco Pantani, whether it's true or not, I don't know, was the fact that he had an incredibly low heartbeat. And his doctor said to him that he had to sleep with a heart rate monitor that would wake him up if it went too low, and if it did, he had to get on a turbo trainer, pedal for a bit, and that would bring his heart rate back up and prevent him from dying in his sleep. It looks like we're heading for a town called Gattio, and now my Italian isn't great, but my understanding is that Gattio is cat, so the name of this town is Cat. Well, there you go, I've just crossed the sprint line. Do I get the points? Okay, so if that town is on the Rubicon, that means technically I've crossed the Rubicon, so there's no turning back now. Giancarlo has just briefed us about the climb. If I've understood it correctly, we've got 7 kilometers of climbing now, 5 kilometer descent, and then another 5 kilometer climb, and then we'll stop there and watch the climb of the Giro E. .3k into the first part of this climb now, and it's just started raining, which isn't a bad thing because it's going to help to cool me down a bit. I kind of am looking forward to a longer climb, test myself out a bit. The longest climbs I have at home are about 2k's, so this is going to be a real test. Be careful what you wish for. Well, that came up on a sudden. It's only, according to my calculations, about 5k's, so yeah, that was pretty doable. Average gradient, I would say, was about 4%. A couple of sections 10-11%, but very, very manageable
without an e-bike.
slightly mistaken. That was only a little bit of downhill. Another 2Ks left on this bit of the climb. Well, it appears that some things got lost in translation. There was no descent, and it was all climbing up to this point here. We're at the top of a 17% climb, and we're now waiting for the riders of the Giro E to do this climb.
It said 1:15. Bikes, no mistaking them, of course.
Bravo!
Yes, everybody helping everybody else. Look at this, the guys
Bravo!
are away. This is not easy. Vai, caro, vai!
Well, that was pretty exciting, watching the Giro E climb that really steep climb. We're 35 kilometers away from Cestatico, and we've got about an hour and a half to get back so that we can be on the finish line for the finish of the actual Giro. Let's see if we can do it. How disappointing. We got within 800 meters of the finish line and then some marshal told us to get off. So here we are by the side here. We'll walk up to the finish line and then we'll go and sit and wait for the riders to cross the line.
Molto bella, sì. Mauro Ferrara che 59 anni che canta ha detto che si sente finalmente entrato nella storia grazie a questa canzone, vedi? Avete fatto anche un'opera di bene.
I've made it to the hospitality area. They've got screens up with the race running live, and on that I can see they are about 60 kilometers away or so. When they get to 35 kilometers, they will be riding on the very roads that we've just ridden in on ourselves. So it's all very, very exciting. It's going to take them about an hour to get here. How's the hospitality going?
So far, very good.
The heavens have just opened, so it's going to make that finish very, very tricky. But I'm just watching the race on TV here. Looks like the weather that the riders have is the same weather that we've got now.
Questa bellissima vittoria, eccolo che si mette in giocare. Signore e signori, è il momento di festeggiare, siamo a meno di 100 metri
Well, that's the winner. I think it was somebody from Colombia or somewhere in South America, and now we're just waiting for the peloton to come in.
dove c'è Brento Brentati, volata finale, facciamo un grande applauso, parte Guerrero, parte Magnati contro Guerrero, Italia tutto il traguardo, coronato da Silvia qualche anno fa, nel 2015, proprio in una cronometro che era partita però da Piazza degli highlights di questa.
Well, that was quite exciting. At least the rain stopped. We are now stuck behind these barriers. Our bikes are on the other side, and I'm just hoping that we'll be released so we can ride back to the hotel, have a nice shower, and then warm up a bit.
Ha chiuso Gianluca Brambilla del Trek Segafredo. Brambilla in carriera ha vestito anche la maglia rosa.
I think that's the last riders of the peloton in. We rode that last 35 kilometers of the race earlier on ourselves, and I have to say that although the actual road wasn't too bad, it was fairly undulating. We rode it in the dry, and they've obviously ridden it in the pouring rain, so it couldn't have been very pleasant at all. Here's the last one now, I think. Yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to have done that in this weather by myself.
Altri corridori in linea d'arrivo, applausi. Grandi nomi, in ritardo di 11 secondi 43.
Well, that's it. I think that car indicated that was the last of the riders through. So we're now free to ride back to the hotel. Well, by the time I get back to the hotel, that's going to be about 67 kilometers in the bank of fitness. Plus, I've watched the finish of the Giro D'Italia, and I've ridden the last 35 kilometers of the course. So yeah, pretty much a once in a lifetime experience, I would say. Shame about the weather, but yeah, fantastic day on the bike.